Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We are looking at AMD today, and I'll be honest, I'm a little happy I got out of it. I'll be honest. And it's not because I don't believe in the overall sector of semiconductors. When I'm looking at the data of the way that AMD has been performing recently, it doesn't give me anything that's convincing to believe that it's actually bullish. It looks incredibly bearish. It looks very, very bearish. It looks so bearish that I would sell short, but I just don't even want to spend the time because the price of the stock doesn't really seem like it's going to move. If it breaks below 100, I'm terrified about what happens. But when I look, if it can break, or at least it can close above 104 or 109, we have some opportunity. But while we stay below 104.35, which is the 5-day moving average, you need to be able to be above your 5-day moving average. You need to be above last week, right? Which AMD right now is always below last week, and that's not good. I mean, the volume necessarily right now isn't necessarily picking up either. I don't see any major volume days. We saw some big volume days back in the very beginning of August, right after the month-end markup of July. That was at 117, and then the thing is essentially cratered all the way down since. It had one highlight on the 7th of August at $116.81, but come on. Since then, 2 days later, it's been below its 5-day moving average, and it hasn't had 2 days above it since. It's been below the 23-day moving average. I mean, when I'm looking at what I see for right now, I do believe this price to fall indicator. This future price path, we've seen the volatility rising, we've seen the correlation probably dropping. Things have gotten really ugly. I mean, we've gotten some days over the past few. I mean, what do we have? 5 out of the past 7 are positive. Yeah, that's great. But we're still negative on the 5-day rolling return. We're still negative on the 15-day rolling return. We're still negative on the 1 month, still negative on the 3 month. I mean, I don't want to say that the 6 month is in jeopardy because I don't want to believe like that because, again, I'm incredibly bullish. But AMD is short. It's go short in the short term, intermediate term, and longer term. Right? What else can you say? It's bearish on the short term, intermediate term, and longer term. What can you say? And it's been, what I don't like is that it's had the short term bearishness. That's always incredibly aggressive. It means it's really, really bearish. And you see the falling bear ever since it looks like the 17th of August. I mean, that 104, I mean, yeah, there were some up days, but it was just days to sell. We have some sell signals. We've got more bearish signals than we do bullish signals. We do have fighting signals, I will admit. But we've got some big bears, we've got some small bears, we've got some sell signals. Not good. Look at the AMD overall weekly chart. It's interesting because the 100 level is really respected, and we want to see. This is why it's so important that the 100 level holds, even on the daily, because it's a big level even on the weekly, and it was a big level. This was resistance here back in 2022. It was actually support in April of 2022, and in February and January of 2022. Those were big levels. This was support in 2021. It was kind of resistance back into the 100 level for AMD. Yeah, pay attention. Eyes up, boys. Because when I see what I see on this daily sentiment indicator, it looks like nothingness. It looks like blah. It looks like meh. Like this back here, where the moves are kind of you're at least seeing the sway. You see a little S curve there in that little 15-day moving average. You got nothing. It looked like a bent straw. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not good. And if you look at it on the weekly, it's not really different. It's not. It's slightly down, but it's essentially just a blank straight. It's just straight, which means that there's just a lack of enthusiasm. And that's a lack of enthusiasm in the market is probably the worst thing that you can ask for because you want demand or you want supply, depending on what your direction is. But you want people to want to be there because when they're there, then you get volume. It's really interesting. The volume has started to dry up. We've had some big volume days, but it looks like that was probably either a down day because that was the 2nd. So that was right after that big month-end markup. Everybody just got out that day. Nobody's really returned since. The volatility is starting to expand, which is good to see. It is going up. The correlation is, just like I said, incredibly negative. And it's actually getting more negative, which is not good. What you're going to want to see, yeah. I mean, it just has a really bad setup because if the volatility starts to roll over and then the correlation starts to go positive, the price will also fall. So right now, what you'd like to see, the fastest thing you'd probably like to see is that it just goes straight down. If it peaked like this and just went like this and it was still negative, that'd be great. But right now, what you have is you have to pay attention to price because the price is really driving the derivatives. It's really driving the volatility and the correlation. So you have to respect it. You look at the bottom of the trade range, that's exactly where AMD is living. You'd expect it to hit 98. The top of the range is at 121. It hasn't hit the top of the range. Let's be honest. It hasn't hit the top of the range since May. Since May of 2023 was the last time we hit the top of the range. So we just have to we were hopeful. There was a lot of hope at the beginning of the summer. AMD was one of those darlings. AMD got me through the beginning of June, but times change, people change. We have to change. This is just one of those times where AMD needs to earn our trust back because 112 is a ways away from 102, and 98 is a lot closer. So when we look at the overall sentiment, even the ultra fast, like this is the ultra fast. This is what we're looking at. So this is the 2-day. Still nothing. Still lifeless. Still no energy. Even on the weekly, no energy. Nothing to bring, nothing to give, nothing to share. You know what I mean? Like, you asked him for a story, got nothing to say. Just AMD, just lack of love. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We send you 25 stocks to your inbox every single Sunday. Stocks between $5 and $20. Stocks breaking out to 52-week highs. Stocks breaking out to all-time highs. It is a great thing to read every Sunday morning. But I will talk to you soon.